I don't know. I'm going to start. I'm going to start now. It said go live in two places, so I clicked one, and now I'm going to do the other one. Okay, so. Hi, folks. Elaine, Marolakos, Edelson here. I'm starting over. I'm using a new live producer in Facebook, so forgive me if I don't know. If I'm looking around and I look confused and bewildered, like the rest of the planet at this point. Hi, come say hello to me. That's what I'm saying here. Whoopsie. Yeah, so here I am. Well, here we are with Astrology Mojo. And as a modern mystic, I want to help you get your mojo back. So how are we going to do that? How? How are you going to get your mojo back if you don't know where it is? Misplaced it. Okay. So, well, we're going to start by getting calmer. We're going to calm it down. We're going to calm it down, folks. If you read the Larry Brilliant article that I posted, or the Peter Diamandis articles that I posted on Facebook, I hope you do read them, just so you are clued in a little bit more to what we can expect. And when I was talking about, because it will be very informative, you have to stay educated and keep the panic to a minimum, or to negate it altogether. We're going to mitigate that today. All right, so thank you for joining me. If you're new to me, you don't know that I say that in astrology, the planets don't do anything to you because we live in a cooperation with the cosmos. So when the planets make a move, jazz hands, you feel it. When you make a move, what? It's reflected by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So it isn't the planet that's doing it to you. It is a reflection of your timing. Astrology basically tells you what time it is, okay? So if any other astrologer or anybody out there says, oh, Pluto's doing this, that's why there's a pandemic. No. Life is always evolving. There are biological things that we don't even know about in the mainstream world because we're not focused on that. So when there's a virus or a bacteria and it mutates and suddenly it becomes mainstream news and that's all we see, then it's like, it's new. If you've never had cottage cheese before ever and you never heard of it before and you suddenly see it, you think you've just discovered it. No. Things exist and they transmute and we're biological creatures. So sometimes we get a little complacent, right? And it's like, I have my job, I have my family, I have my bills, this is what I do. I go on vacation, I take my vitamin C, and I'm good. And then a wrench gets thrown in from the universe and your own developmental self and the earth and biology and chemistry. And suddenly we think we're out of control. We never had control, really. And that, fear. Then we resort to fear. So let's just bring this down a notch if we can do that. I think it would be really helpful for a lot of people out there who are still on what I would call the front lines of this thing. Because, today we went food shopping. I asked all my neighbors and my sister, you need anything? We're going to the West Side. And, when we got there and we did our food shopping, we did our... I'm going to talk about Saturn and Aquarius and a new terminology. But we did our safe distancing, of course, and sprayed our hands and washed everything. And, we're doing all the smart, right things. And when we got to the produce section, they were finally restocking some things. Some shelves are completely empty. But, and then the dairy section. So we thanked the people who were stocking the shelves. And we said, thank you. Thanks so much for doing your job, for being here, for sticking by, and for, putting food on the shelf that we can buy. And they, the two guys were actually startled, and then kind of smiled and thought about it and said, "Oh, well, of course, you're welcome. Like, this is my job. This is what I do until I'm told not to because I got to pay my bills." Yeah, but more than that, I think the realization is that the people who hold up this society are the ones that go unnoticed and are taken for granted. In most cases. So let's just say hello and thank you to everyone who's doing their job. And your job, Okay, your job is to not panic because you want to raise your frequency. I got a lot to say today, so stick with me. We're going to raise our frequency so that we can support ourselves, our family, our neighborhood, our community, our state, our country, our world, our planet, okay? And when we do that, we're going to see changes happen accordingly with everything's changing, right? Everything's changing. So, and this is a sneak peek. We're talking about Saturn in Aquarius. And I mentioned it back in December because we had the Capricorn lineup, and Capricorn is guided by Saturn. And in astrology, it represents the industry, the structure of industries, medical, publishing, banking, education, the brick and mortar buildings that we go to for things. And so Saturn has been in Capricorn for 2.5 years. And it was about discovering your karmic past, what you needed to let go of, what fears and denials were stopping you from growing. Okay, and then how to claim your authority, claim your power, your status, own it, own who you are. And then now the foray into Saturn in Aquarius is just a few months. It's March 21st through, I believe it's July 2nd or the end of June. But in that time frame, we get a sneak peek at the next upcoming 2.5 years from December 19th, 2020, plus 2.5 years. And what we're looking at is suddenly everything changed. Aquarius is guided by Uranus, and it's a vibe that represents sudden, unexpected, erratic, rebellious, innovative things dealing with space, higher technology, medical. So what are we looking at really is a new way to restructure our lives, to wake up. And it's been a sudden wake up call, right? Okay. Hi, let me just check in. I'm on a new, Facebook has a new producer. So everything was over there. Now it's over here. And there were buttons that I weren't familiar with. So I'm seeing me live. I feel like I'm live television. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here live at the Imaginary Cafe of Elaine, Marolakos, Edelson, helping you to get your mojo back. Okay, so Jody. Hi, Jody. Hi, Rhonda's here, and Christine and Tracy. Hello, hello. Welcome. Bienvenue. Come on in. Have a cup of something yummy to drink with me today. And I pulled a card for the group way ahead of time, of course. And it is serendipity. Serendipity. So that, let's talk a second about serendipity. What is serendipitous? Does this feel good? What's going on? No, it's kind of scary and everybody's freaking out. So, but it's an adjustment, okay? The virus is a reality and it's going to mutate. So once the entire globe is exposed to it, it will mutate and mutate. And so we will see who are the carriers, what are the symptoms, who is most affected. We don't have all the data. We just know from the small amount of cases what the data is. And so we don't want to panic and attach to the data as is because it's constantly transmutating. Okay? That's what biology does. It transmutates and it changes. So, but what can you do? The virus is a reality, but so is your ability to power up. That is also a reality. So that's what we're going to do. And I want to focus on that extensively today. And please, if I do a meditation or I ask you to visualize something, I would like to keep political comment. This is not a political forum. And I would like to keep negative judgments off of my platform. Okay, even in jest. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't need to say any more about that, right? We're here to up our vibe. We're here to make sure that we get the most out of ourselves and so that we can support others. For the people who are starting to panic, it's natural, of course, but our race of being has lived through many things, and we're not alone in this universe. We're being supported by starseed, elders, mentors, angels, guides, passed on loved ones. We're being supported. They're infusing energy into this world. They're redirecting us. They're guiding us. So when Saturn in Aquarius shows up, and it gives us a sneak peek into what's to come, we're like, what? It's going to be disease and panic and fear? No, it's an adjustment. You know, my grandmother, who was an immigrant from Greece, couldn't speak but 3 words of English, opened up her own produce store, and, you know, buried three out of 6 children before they were 2 years old. You're right. You can share stories like that too, of people in your family or people you know. But the tenacity to learn something new, that was in my grandmother's experience. The first time she ever saw an escalator, she had no idea that stairs could move. Freaked her out. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. So she would always take the stairs, which is probably healthier, and while my mother and my aunt went up the escalator in any store. So it's like when you're faced with something new that you're not familiar with, when you're faced with something, most people will move into a place of fear. And a place of fear is natural because we're human. We have an amygdala in the center of our brain, and it tells us, oh my gosh, is there something happening that we don't know about? And we need to protect ourselves. We need to protect our families, and we have to hoard, you know, our time, our energy, our money, our groceries. We're going to calm that down, okay? Because as people are panicking, there are even more people who are producing something good in this, who have the ability, and there's no judgment on it. Like my grandmother, to the end of her days, she never got on an escalator because she didn't understand the concept. It was such a forward-thinking concept. That's Aquarius. That's the Uranus-driven Aquarius. It's a forward-thinking concept. A friend today was texting this morning who lives on the other side of the country, and we were checking in, you know, how's everything? And suddenly, you know, her son, who's 4.5, his school is closed, and the school is recommending apps for the iPad. And she said, iPad? I guess we have to move into a technology place for my son. I wasn't planning on getting him another, you know, technological thing, anything, for another 8 years at least. And I said, well, you know, it is the age. It is the Aquarian age. And so as we utilize it appropriately in a healthy way, blue filters in place. My eyeglasses are blue filtered. My computer screen has a blue filter. And it's a champagne color, right? So anything we're doing now, technological, is going to be upped. So that means our frequency is also going to be upped, because we are, if you look at it, we're like computers, but a little more compassionate. And we have the ability to alter the frequency by the input. So if you download a program into your computer and it's slow and you don't have enough megs to run, and it's like, oh, this is painful, it's so slow, or you don't have higher speed internet, right? So everything gets upgraded. You're being upgraded right now. This is a sneak peek with Saturn in Aquarius of how you could take an old structure, like the way we were living 4 weeks ago, and then incorporating new things. And that also means humanitarian, because one of the top definitions of Aquarius is humanitarian. So even though they can be like Vulcans at times emotionally, but they're there for the collective. And so when I pulled the serendipity card today, it reminded me that we are in a collective experience. So as you raise your vibe and remove or mitigate the fear, what are you really doing? You're helping the collective. It's not just you. As you feel it, so do I. So do your neighbors, even if you never meet them, even if you never have contact with the person in the next state. You share a common element, and that is the collective consciousness is now upgrading. We are all being upgraded. So does that make sense? Let me see some comments. Hi, Tracy's here. Does this make sense? Please let me know in the comment, because I'm on a new platform in Facebook, and Now I'm looking at like, what did I miss? Where are the buttons? Everything looks different. Ah. Okay, I'm going to take a sip and calm it down. Okay, so how are you feeling right now? And I mean, be honest. Are you feeling hopeful? Are you feeling nervous? Are you feeling tentative? Oh, Jody says makes total sense. Good. Thank you for responding. It makes total sense. Good. I'm glad. Now, we're going to do a little visualization in a little bit, so stick around. I also pulled another card, and it was Unfinished Symphony. That was the Colette Baron Reid Wisdom Oracle cards. And so Unfinished Symphony, you're just getting started. You have some unfinished business. And so that's what I want to talk about with Saturn moving into Aquarius. As I said, Saturn represents the old guard. It represents industry. And Aquarius, guided by Uranus, represents rebellion, radical transformation, humanitarianism. So, and when we put these things together and we look at, okay, some people are being laid off. I witnessed that in the supermarket the other day when I went shopping for the neighborhood. And I heard, I said to this one checkout that I like to see, her name is Yulisa. And I'd say, hi, how are you? How's the family? And then behind her, there was like a little bit of ruckus happening. And someone said, what happened? Where are you going? You taking a break already? You just got, no, I was just fired. So people are starting to lose their jobs. And that is big. At the place where we go to work out and exercise, they closed, of course. For now, it's temporary. And the people at the front desk are, of course, postponed as well, but they're not being paid. They're not fired, they're just not being paid. And so this produces a lot of fear, right? And this produces a lot of anxiety and doubt and questioning, who's going to help us? What's going to happen? What am I going to do about this situation? Well, the first thing anyone can do right now in any state that they're in, whether they have $1 million in the bank and, all the toilet paper from Costco or not, what you can do if you're panicking is to start breathing and taking a deep breath in through the nose, out of the mouth. You have to connect to your body. Number one, to mitigate fear. You connect with your body in as many moments as possible, as often as you need to. And to help yourself, I just like to play with my crystals. I've got citrine here. To help yourself calm down. Think about someone who has it worse than you. Not to feel better about it, but to think, what can I do for them? So things in my community have already begun. Dean and I were first on it's like, we're going to the store. Who needs something? And asking people who are older, people who are in wheelchairs, people who can't get out, do you need something? Can I go to the supermarket for you? Can I fix something for you? Now, the one thing we do know about this virus is that it does not like heat. So the more you have soups, teas, warm to hot beverages, you're cleaning your mouth. And that's a really healthy thing. Here in Arizona, we're just starting to warm up. It'll be 64 degrees today. And so that's a healthy thing. So if you can focus on what you can do and to pass that information, excuse me, to pass that information along to people who might not be as internet savvy or might not know what's going on because all they're doing is watching the news, and the news might be promoting the same thing over and over again. That's why I say read the information that's on my Facebook page. There's the Larry Brilliant article. He is the man who helped to eradicate smallpox, and he talks about what's coming, how to be smart, not to panic, but to start helping other people to get through this, because as a collective energy, we're all getting through this. Also with Peter Diamandis, he's a brilliant physician, scientist, SpaceX guy. So they're already sciencing the crap, He used a different word. He said, we scientists are sciencing the crap out of this thing and hope to have results in 45 to 60 days. And so there are positive things being done. So if your neighbors, for instance, or family members aren't aware of these things because all they do is watch the same 3 news channels, because these things are not in mainstream right now, share the news. Say, well, here's what I read. Let me forward you the email. Here's what I heard. Here's something else you can do. Let's just calm down and know that there's hope. And then redirect the conversation, just like you would with a toddler. So when you were younger, what was like the biggest thing that you went through? I remember my mother saying, oh, well, when we all had to shut our doors because of the pneumonia was going around, and my mother, and then I had to go to the hospital when I was 10, so if my mother were here, I would be having this conversation with her. You've been through something. You had support. It might have been scary, but you got through it. And for the people who are susceptible on whatever level that they are not, some people are presenting symptoms, some people are not, and some people are having a really hard time breathing. Some people are in the hospital. Some people have just died. And this is a sad thing for the families. And so we do our best to not spread this idea of pandemic. It is a reality, but we're going to focus on what we can do right now to up our vibe, to raise the frequency. And in that, what you're doing for this world is not only your duty and your responsibility. Saturn represents responsibility. Where does your responsibility lie right now? But then in Aquarius, it represents the humanitarianism. What can you do? There were some fires in our town a few years back, and several houses were burned to the ground, and families with kids, lower income, they just had nothing. So my daughter was here with a friend, and I think they were maybe 12 years old at the time. And my mother was 3 doors down from where the fires were happening, and my mother had lived through 2 house fires. And I went to her house immediately, and I said, Mom, and she said, I'm all right, I'm not scared, but I could see the panic in her face. And I said, I want you to take what you feel you need to take right now. The fire trucks are here. They're doing their best, but it is a windy day. And in Arizona, around 4 o'clock, the wind picks up and boom, next house can go in a second. So she gathered some of her things, and we got in the car and we went to my house, which it's like 4 minutes away. And my kid was there with a friend, and I said, listen, I want you to realize something, that there are 2 kinds of people in this world. And one kind, and there's no judgment on it, one kind is terrified, but they sometimes can gape or get in the way of, or flounder, or become helpless. And so that's who they are. The second kind is the one who takes action. And the only thing you need to know is, which kind are you? And if you're ready to take action, then ask how you can support someone else. If you're someone who's terrified, then ask for help. And then start to raise your vibe so you can alter that fear frequency. Does that make sense? Okay? Does that make sense? I want to make sure I'm being clear. I'm going to pull a card from this oracle. It's a cute little deck, Oracle of Mystical Moments by Katrine Weltz-Stein. And it's got beautiful imagery, beautiful drawings. How's everyone doing? I don't know if I have to scroll in the section. I don't know. Oh, there's people there. Hi, Christine. This too shall pass. Yes, makes total sense. Great. Okay, good. So you're here. Now, it's also a time that we are redirected home, right? We're redirected at home. Once we had a massive power failure, and our kid was maybe 8, and it was fun. It was like, oh, we got to light the candles, make sure there's batteries, and the entire grid went out in our area, and it wasn't going to be put back anytime soon. So, and I said, I said to my kid, okay, So, do you know the story of Abraham Lincoln? Long ago, they did not have electricity. So they used candles and they would play games. They would tell stories. They didn't have television. And so what can we do right now? Oh, I know. Let's play charades. What can we do at home with the family? This is more family time. This is downtime. This is a redirection time. So you can go more within right now and say, what haven't I done? How about let me clean out those closets? How about let me put things aside to donate that, I've been meaning to do, but I've been so busy that I can't because I've been at work. You know what I heard on the news today is that there are more pet adoptions because now people who have been saying, I haven't had the time to train a dog or, get a puppy, now they have the time. And so there's a whole redirection of focus. Medical licensing boards are changing their policies so that in certain states, nurses can cross to another state, or doctors can cross to another state and utilize their services elsewhere. So policies are changing, right? This is what we're looking at, and it's just the tip. I'm not talking about disaster and tragedy that will always be on this earth. Someone said to me once recently for a reading, they said, I don't want to hear anything bad. And I said, well, what's bad? And they said, I don't want to hear that I'm going to die. And I said, well, we're all going to die. Everyone is going to die. We're only here for a certain amount of time. So I like to focus on what you can do in that amount of time to fulfill your soul's and spiritual purpose on this earth, to feel joy, to expand your compassion. That's what I like to focus on. Because the other one, the death factor, is a given. We're all going to die. And so with that kind of perspective, I think sometimes you can redirect those thoughts and not be afraid, but not be silly. I mean, we all know to wash our hands and to not hoard and to offer support to the neighbors, right? We know to do this. And to be smart, my husband and I are rethinking our travel plans. We're going to go on a cruise to the Caribbean for my 60th birthday in early May. And now we're thinking, right? So, but not out of fear, but we're waiting. Doctor's appointments have been rearranged. Our library books that, would have been past due, we got an email saying we're forgiving we're going to be closed for another 30 days and we're forgiving all fines. So, everybody's working together now to find a new structure on how to make this work. What's the new architecture? So think about that across the board. It's not just, and we heard on the news today, the games industry, the sports industry, venues being booked ahead of time, thousands and millions of dollars on hold are being lost because of what's getting canceled. My sister is a wedding planner, and she hasn't slept. And this is a wedding location. Sedona is a wedding destination. And so everything's getting revolved and evolved and moved to the next section of what's possible. What is possible? So now is a time to educate yourself. What is the one, maybe you wanted to learn how to play piano. Maybe you wanted to up your level of math acuity. Online training programs. This is why we have online education. And it's not just, yes, I've been sending comedy videos. I love impressions. So I've been sending to my friends and family comedy videos alongside the videos of information and education about this particular virus. But then you're done with that. And then it's, what can I do that's productive? What can I do for myself right now that I've had on hold forever? So let me just pull a card out of this new deck, and I'm not familiar too much with them. Whoopsie, that one just flipped out. Oh my God. Is that not great? It's the stranded card. I love the universe. I do. Stranded. Stranded. Number 44. I'm laughing. That is so funny. Well, and it's a gorgeous image too. The fear of failure. That is the stranded card, folks. Look, wait, can you see that? Look at that artwork. It's so beautiful. Look at this young sailor stranded with his ship atop a tall tree. He needs his anchor to help him get back down to the earth. The card asks, how did the ship get there? How did we get here? This is such an unusual place for a seafaring vessel. At times we feel the same. We find ourselves in situations we can't quite understand. Come on. I did not make this up. But I'm laughing and reveling in it. Sometimes we feel we've made mistakes because our expectations are so high we set ourselves up for failure. We either beat ourselves up over our performance or we are so intimidated that we never begin. Failure is a necessary part of success, as important to the journey as a rudder on a ship. Okay? Right? So what can you do now to redirect, to put some air in your sails? What can you do to put some air in your sails and redirect your course? It's time to change course. And Jody says, OMG, yes, I'm not going to lie. I needed these few weeks off. I feel like it's a nice pause before a reset. Exactly. Exactly. And, you know, the gears can only go so fast, so far before they start to burn out. And those gears sometimes show up as illnesses. Sometimes it shows up as a total displeasure and disappointment in who we've become in our lives and what we're doing. Like, what are we doing? What am I doing? I work at this job. I pay my bills and it's just every day. And what do I look forward to? So now we are being reset. Good word. Good word. And this card was phenomenal. Stranded. So what are you going to do now that you're stranded? Let's do something productive and positive right now in this moment. I'm going to call on my angels, my guides, my starseed, my family that I know is providing us with extra support at this time and pouring love into this world. So I want you to get comfortable. Let's get comfortable. And let's start to relax the body. I'm going to take a sip. Let's relax the body. Put your feet flat on the floor. Or if you're lying down listening to me, I want you to just close your eyes and palms up. This is the supplicant's position. Palms up and just being so calm. I want you to inhale through the nose and exhale out of the mouth. Inhale again through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. I'm doing a collective wipe energetically. And I want you to envision now that you are exactly where you are. And your focus is on the rise and fall of your chest as you calmly inhale and exhale, as you breathe naturally, and as you hear the sound of my voice. And we're going to give thanks and gratitude to the sun for shedding light, for illuminating the path, for keeping us warm, for burning away old memories, bacteria and viruses that are harmful. We are grateful. And thanks to the earth for the many paths on which to walk toward our truth. We are grateful. And to the air that gives us a promise of a new day, that fills our lungs with hope and sustenance for being here in a body. And we give thanks and we are grateful for water, which flows and shows us how to let go, that nourishes us as we are mostly water. As it carries away and helps us to detox those things that don't support us. We are grateful. To all the elements that we can rely on, stone, wood, metal, crystal. All the things that we utilize to create our brilliance on this earth. Now I want you to imagine, as you're just calmly breathing and feeling grateful for these things, that you can see floating in the air with your mind's eye, you can see little specks of fear and how they permeate the walls, the windows, the lungs, the minds. And now as you inhale deeply, all the way in, you're pulling in light from the universe, and as you exhale, you're blowing out, you're exhaling compassion, pure white conscious light and love into the air to consume those tiny little fearful particles, to consume them, to transform them, to transmute them into particles of love that are sparkly, illuminated, that can penetrate wood, water, metal, stone, bone, blood, breath, mind, and give and lend support to up the frequency, to up the vibe, to calm and mitigate the fear and the panic. One more inhalation, pulling in breath and light from the universe. Hold it. It's gathering strength and intention. And we're going to let it go. And what we're doing is we're putting love into the world with a very conscious intention, so that as these particles of light and love penetrate stone, water, metal, earth, bone, blood, air, mind, body, spirit, they are lifting the vibration. They are helping those in whatever way they need help, not for you to direct, just for you to lift the vibe with breath and put that breath into the air. Pure conscious love. That's who we are. So as you inhale and exhale light from the universe and put that light and breath into the air to penetrate stone, water, earth, wood, bone, blood, mind, body, spirit. You're calming yourself first. You're reassuring yourself that there is more hope, even for those in dire situations, that they will get the support that they need, but not for you to direct, just to put that love and light into the world. And that's the most you can do in a moment of fear. That is the most beneficial. And then from there, you choose to educate yourself with something online. You choose to donate your time and energy. All right, another deep breath in and exhale. And now you are all surrounded with a bubble of pure conscious white light. And in it is a stream of rainbows that may be not visible to the naked eye, but ever present to help you strengthen your vibe. And you can relax more as we count down from 3, feeling calmer, more secure. 2, inhaling pure white light from the universe. And 1, exhaling, wiggle your fingers and your toes and open your eyes. I hope this has helped you. I hope that you can take this, even if you're listening to this in a replay, and pass it on. Because as we move through these days and weeks to come, there's going to be your ability to take the moment, be in the moment, and then transmute the moment into something that's a higher vibe and that carries more power than any word could. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being. Be sparkly, be present, and I will be back on, hang on, because everything's shifted, right? So today's 24th. I'm going to be back on Friday, folks. Friday, March 27th, I will be here. And we'll do more of this. Okay, yes, I had a request. I will pull one last card, The Secret Language of Light. Whoopsie, can't see it. Ah! By Denise Jarvie. These are really pretty cards. Hey, Casey's here. All right, inhale, exhale. You got this. Okay. These are kind of big cards. They're hard for me to shuffle. So, which card wants to show us the wisdom and the way of today? Oh, this is great. In fact, I'm going to be doing this after I'm done. It's called soul writing, and it's like automatic writing. And I want to get the exact definition in the book because I'm not versed yet. Yes, the author of your story. As you shift your perception, so does your world change. This is the card, Soul Writing. It's really beautiful. Look at the card and imagine you are the angel rising and connecting to the soul light at the top of the pyramid. Do you see that? From this expanded view, you can see all your stories and their facets from a neutral position. A higher perspective will unveil and reveal what was previously unknown. You may be surprised, shocked, or embarrassed that the story you have identified with is not what you thought it was. You're not who you actually think you are sometimes in those negative moments, right? That's what we're hearing here. You see that? Don't stress. This indicates that the stories are shaking loose and healing is occurring. You're doing so well. You are worthy and you are loved. What a beautiful card to pull. I love that. So sit down, do a little writing, but with intention to see it from the bird's eye, top of the tree view. And what would you like the story to be now? What would you like your story to be now? Think about that, do that exercise, and come back on Friday and join me. Be well, everyone. I wish you peace.